everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dark and Dicey, episode 19. What up, guys? Yeah, so as you guys can see, we have a couple of cast members missing today. Zach will not be joining us. Nate will unfortunately not be making it. However, in their place, we have some special guests. First up and returning, we have Marcy Edwards as Korth. And a second surprise special guest. Who is it? Who is it? Welcome back. Anya has returned for one of the. That's right. How you been, man? You been good?
Good.
Ready to get your Rooski snake on?
I'm ready. Wait, what'd you say?
Rooski?
What does that mean?
Is that a slur? I don't know.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
What did you call
Russian. Okay.
They don't exist in the Forgotten Realms, so you know.
That's fair.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, you guys. Glad to have you. Really quick, let's get you caught up on what's happened. Last time we ran a dungeon officially for the first time, and it was violent. No one made it through, unfortunately. But at the end of this show, we're going to have another round. We have 6 all-new adventurers picked out and ready to feed through the meat grinder and or beat the dungeon. So that's going to be really exciting. After that happened, Kovacs was thoroughly convinced that the right thing to do, the proper, noble thing to do was to go to the labyrinth city of Iron Rock and get his sword reforged. And
it's very important.
It's very, very important. So that's.
There's nothing else going on right now. No missing babies. No missing children.
That's right.
No.
But the sword must be right.
I mean, how can we succeed with our sacred mission if we don't have tight weapons?
That's right. It's an investment. It's an investment in time. It's perfectly acceptable. So with that perfectly logical reasoning, we have headed off on a ship towards the labyrinth city of Iron Rock. Before you guys, we're going to go back and redo a couple of things right before you left. Trixa, now that you're here, before you guys took off to sail on the boat to the island proper, Dwight pulled you aside and hands you a tiny vial. A tiny vial filled with green liquid.
Oh.
Dwight leans down, his, burning skull just next to your face, and he gives you one of these. Just in case you need this, think of it as recruitment juice.
Okay.
Just a little bit will be fine.
Okay.
Play by ear.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it,
Okay.
but it's there. And he slowly recedes into the background, doing one of these.
And I pocket the vial.
He even has like a tiny skull, and it's his. It's his skull. You can tell because of course. The green eyes.
Nice branding.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's very good branding. So he hands you that tiny vial. You have no idea what it does. It's just green goopy booze. Other than that, Trixa, you went along with Kovacs and Korth, and Pluck was on the ship. The ship itself that was summoned, since Dwight can't really do other things other than terrible bone viscera horror, the ship was made out of more or less a screaming, it was kind of like a big bleeding face on the front. The oars were made of bone. Every once in a while you'd sail and you'd hear the boat go, and after that happened for like half an hour, Kovacs was like, okay, stop. He used command on deck. The ship stopped screaming. So at some point you hear, where we left off was the ship itself docked at the little mini harbor of the labyrinth city of Iron Rock. Now, they only really use this harbor to do trading. The clan of Ravenous Minotaurs are not very efficient sailors, so they don't have much use for big fleets or that stuff. But having arrived at their island capital, you can see that they don't really need fleets. This entire giant, solid, black, near adamantite rock they have as a home can guard against probably a handful of invasions by itself, just from the impossibility of getting through to these massive adamantite gates. Their defenses are amazing, which is why they don't need a fleet at all. And as you guys park your terrible, horrific ship at their harbor, two ravenous clan minotaurs, shaggy black fur, foaming a little bit at the mouth. They come with massive black halberds. You can tell these are obviously made of their adamantite, and they're pointing at you, demanding who you guys are. And I think that's where we left off last time. So, Anya.
Yes.
When you were when Dwight set sail with the crew,
Yes.
you were given specific instructions from your war leader, and I believe I sent that to you earlier, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You guys hear a bit of rummaging happening in the ship, and out from one of the bony viscera closets, a familiar snake woman falls out onto the deck.
Oh. Hello. Who this?
I could have sworn I just heard.
I run and I jump on her and
I must
hug
be going
her.
crazy.
My friend, my little friend.
Where have you been?
Well, I had lead on where Bolton was, but I decided halfway there, he already has a woman. Women should not get in the way of other women. And I was like, I will find another man. And then I got recruited, and then drama happened, and then War Leader Tasty told me to come back here.
You guys spy, you don't have to roll for this. There is a very big note taped to the inside of her jacket. If you glance, you don't read. Do you read the Sneck thing, or do you do not read the Sneck thing? No. Okay, it is written in Sneck. Anya, glancing down, you remind yourself, oh yeah, that's right, War Leader Tasty said these things. So he wrote it out in big, like, 1, 2. So you remember what you were actually sent here for, and that is your people have struck a quasi-deal with Dwight, because the Yuan-Ti very much wants the secrets to the regenerating alchemic necromancy that he has access to. So you are here as an emissary of the Yuan-Ti people.
I am here on behalf of all you anti-people. I am the best of them, after all. Where is my snake?
Oh, here, Snake!
Snake!
Anya, hello! And it
Snake!
slithers over to you. It's really quickly down, tricks up your hood, settles where it usually.
Snake, it's good to see you.
These minotaurs, by the way, are just like.
Are they just gonna be hissing at each other the entire time? This is strange. Who are you?
Oh, Anya, we can catch up later. It seems there are very angry cannibal monsters.
All right,
Over there.
got it. Understood. Thank
Oh,
you.
by the way, did you meet my friend?
No?
That's Nick.
Ah! That's Nick.
A skeletal snake just kind of pops up next to Snack. It doesn't say much. It stares at you, drools a little.
Snake, do you have necromancy power?
Yes,
Wow, I'm so proud.
yes, a lot of things have happened since you were gone.
Wow.
Yeah, Dwight did the thing where he was like,
The pact is sealed.
and now this is my friend.
I'm very happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe. Oh,
Trixa and my friend Dead Snake have kept me busy and filled with friends and love.
I should probably tell you all that Haven Spear is dead and chained up in a shack somewhere.
Well, we knew he was dead.
Well, he was undead.
That's the second biggest surprise of the day.
The Minotaur's like,
Oh, hi. Oh,
Excuse us, noble Minotaur,
Belches.
sir or madam. We come in peace. We seek only to use your very efficient forge.
Ironhoof in the back, Mumbler's like, it's probably not that great. What was that? No. So you just wanna walk into our city and you wanna use the forge.
I want to pull Ironhoof, like drag him forward.
He's just like,
Come on, help us.
That's not even my people. Fine. Look,
Ironhoof comes up and he's like, excuse me, oh, nice to see you, Anya.
Hi, who are you?
Anyway, my name is Ironhoof, part of the clan that used to live here, and they're like, Ironhoof, like, oh, like that one. And they point, and there's that huge statue of Tala, of Amanda's character. Tala, who is still here as an NPC wielding Brenda. The whole reason they're even talking to you in the first place. Like, wait, you're one of the Ironhoofs who's related to that Ironhoof? Who has that axe? And Ironhoof's like, yeah, all those words in order make sense. Yeah. So the two Minotaurs kind of like huddle up. It's like, give us 1 second. And they sort of gather. It's like, should we kill them? Should we eat them? No. But they have the axe though.
Yeah, that's really important, right? Yeah. We should probably bring them to see the king. You think he would want to talk to? Yeah, let's bring him to see the king. All right.
They turn towards you. They lower their weapons.
Do we hear any of that?
Yeah, they're very loud. He's literally stepped like two feet stage right and had a very loud conversation. So the two black shaggy Minotaurs turn back around. It's like, okay. You can come with us and you can speak to our king, but that's all we can promise. How's that sound?
Fair enough.
All right. Tala, can I have your autograph?
Okay, that's weird. It's just like, so as you guys are walking, Tala slowly gathers this weird, like, groupie, like this group of, like, Minotaurs behind her, like, are you really, like, Tala? And she's like, yeah, man. Like, it's my statue. It's like, yeah, we kept it clean. Yeah.
Are you dead?
Yeah, that's so metal. Yeah, it's not bad. You guys have the massive gates of the labyrinth city of Iron Rock open to you slowly. It creaks, a speck of dust here or there, some metallic tang as like bits of adamantite just kind of in dust form kind of flow out from the city. And you guys see inside. It's not as dark and dreary as you might expect from a Minotaur labyrinth city, right? Some of you may have experienced dwarven architecture. This is actually fairly close. Obviously, the city itself was not carved out by this ravenous clan, but the Minotaurs who lived here before did an amazing job. You walk in, there's a massive fountain greeting you with an underground water system. You know, they have their own plumbing, expansive, what appears to be a labyrinth that goes on just forever into this rock. You can see homes carved out in the walls. You can see marketplaces in between slabs of, shifting labyrinth doors. It's beautiful, right? They've got this thing figured out. And as the guards are taking you through the city, you see the ravenous civilians, or the lower caste of Minotaur warriors, gathered around, just kind of watching you suspiciously. Some of them are eating dead friends who have been cooked up that day. It's very normal here. It's just part of their culture, So you're walking by and you hear one of the Minotaurs like, "Hey, pass Bob." All right, here, thanks. And one of them offers you some as you walk by. "Oh, Steve? Huh? Steve?
I wouldn't want
Does
to be
it
rude.
look like good?
It's cooked.
Okay.
It looks like a big, fatty...
Court's eyes are very big, and she's like,
Steve? Oh, all right.
What is this?
Oh, that was Steve. He had a weird bronchital thing, and then it just took him out.
Wait,
All right, here's Steve's arm. Whoa!
Wait, so it's okay for you to sell people, but I can't sell people without being... Hey, where is little angry man?
Little angry man is not here today.
Where is the plucky boy?
Pluck actually had escaped the ship prior, and he had sort of stealthed off into the... He made it a point that he was done killing people for the month. There's been a lot of death. As they walk by, they hear you say something like, "Oh, why is this okay for them to sell and not me?" And they're like, "Are you in the business too?"
I have a business.
Oh, tell us about it. We're always up for cross-promotion.
Oh, well, it's great. See, my supply is in a shack currently. I kind of forgot about him and left him there. But what I do is I open up his torso every morning and I take out his organs and they regenerate. And they regenerate, and so I have unlimited supply of centaur organs.
A Minotaur butcher is taking us. Oh, that is a great
They've all tried
idea.
it, except for this one. I
can't wait. I can't wait.
I will give you.
It sounds delicious.
On the house.
Oh, yes.
As Tala seems to be slowing down a little bit because she is starting to gather a huge throng of fans. All right. Her status as a mythological figure in this island chain is a little is very pronounced. So the Minotaur here are very familiar with her legend, and everyone wants a signature. It's like, please sign my axe! Sign Steve so I can eat Steve! So she starts to trail behind. The two Minotaur guards bring your party through this very large entrance chamber. You see these gorgeous etched adamantite pillars. This place, you wouldn't even want to guess to put a price tag on this place. It's like... It's one of it just seems to be one of those rare treasures of the world that you get to step into every once in a lifetime. This is obviously closed off to almost basically anyone who's not part of their people. And through this grand hallway with these pillars, you see a massive black iron throne against the back of this hall. Though the figure who sits in it may not cut the most impressive shape that you would expect. You've seen all these giant black ravenous clan members, and as you get towards the back of this throne room, you see this hunched over, maybe 4 foot tall-ish Minotaur. He's got a little purple cape, right? Tilted silver crown with a bunch of little red gems in it. With a golden scepter, right? And it's sitting like this on its oversized throne, right? And as you come closer, you see the Minotaur, this ravenous king's like, Who dares enter the realm of Raslin Rockskin, the ravenous king?
Hello. My name is Anya Tukliti Livnitskaya. I am emissary for Yuanti people, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing here, but I'm going to probably save the world again.
Yuanti?
Yuanti.
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 Hey, are we being invaded? What's a Yuanti doing here?
No, Your Highness, I assure you this is not an invasion. We come in peace.
And what are you? Are you also, a Yuanti? You got, like, some ear stuff. I don't know. You all look the same to me.
Well, that aside.
And he's like squinting, like, he's like 3 feet away from you, like, eh?
I want to push Tala in front.
Tala, yeah, okay, so you reach back and Tala's like, you kind of grab her from the massive throng of folks and you're like, and Rockskin, it's a medical condition, he has stuff all over his face, and he's like,
oh, yeah, that's the statue out front.
And Tala's like, no, I'm actually very real. I'm, in fact, Tala, the executioner.
Huh?
She takes her axe and she just puts it in front of you. And Razlin's like,
Oh, Brenda. Okay, that changes everything. That changes. Get out of here.
and like he shoos his Minotaur attendants away.
Get out of here. Leave us alone. Brenda. Tala. Yes, with the Brenda and Brenda's friends.
Tala's friends.
What can I do for you today? What can Raslin Rockskin, the Ravenous King, do for you today?
We simply seek to use your forge
What? What do you need my forge for?
to create some exceptional weapons of high quality.
Actually, is there a queen Rackskin?
No, it's been a dry summer.
Well, I slide into your direct.
The scent is very pungent.
Well, how
You know
would
why he's called Rockskin?
Why?
The bumps and afflictions upon his skin.
It's like grayscale.
Yeah.
Well,
And
if
he looks at you, he's like, what?
if you're planning on dying soon, I would be more.
No, I'm in the height of my health. I'm like 30.
Really?
Yeah.
You have a good life, okay?
Yeah.
Good life.
Good. All right. So you want to use my forge to make yourself some neat weapons. Is that the gist?
That is the gist, yes.
Usually, because it's a custom of our people.
Iron Hoof's in the back's like,
My people. What?
nothing.
Anyway, it's a custom of the Minotaur people to throw guests willy-nilly into our arena till they fight a bunch of our champions and maybe come out alive or dead. I don't know. It's a great time for everyone. But you caught us on a special day. You caught us on a day where Brenda is finally back in the labyrinth city of Iron Rock. Oh, we've been looking for her for ages. It's a really famous axe, you know. I'll talk to your ear off about it sometime. Just legends. We wrote a book about it. It's the main character.
What is? Never mind.
Oh, I've seen what it can do. It's quite an impressive weapon, and I just stare at my short sword, and I'm like, yep.
A Minotaur walks up to you. He's like, "You saw Brenda decapitate someone?
Oh yes.
Can I touch you?"
Please don't.
I
50
walk
gold.
up to
Another one walks up. Can I touch you?
50 gold.
What is happening?
And you look over, and there's a group of them like, we'd all like to touch you.
50 gold piece.
All right, hey, get out of here. Get out of here. No one's touching up. Yeah, look, later if you want them to touch you, they can touch you.
I walk up to Kovacs. Hello! I see you have money.
What makes you think I have money?
Well, people giving you money.
Are people giving me money?
No, you were offering money so the Minotaurs wouldn't touch you, right?
No, I was demanding.
Oh, you were asking for money for them to touch you.
Yeah, I was charging to be touched.
All right. In that case, you see them go off and be like, oh, we're gonna get that money together. Instead, Raslin Rockskin,
He's like, yeah, good riddance. Okay. Tell you what I'm gonna do. We can't just ignore billions of years of Minotaur culture.
it's not billions of years.
We'll keep saying words. Billions of years of Minotaur culture. All right, we can't just ignore it. So, I'll tell you what. We're gonna do something a little bit different. You know, because like Tala's already proved herself. It'd be rude if we threw her friends in the arena for a bunch of our Minotaur guys to eat and beat up or whatever. So, we do have one extra little cultural activity that we're gonna have to throw you at before you can use our forge. It's just something we have to do.
Wait a minute. You can't spell culture without cult.
I guess that is technically correct. Yes.
I have a cult, you know.
Do you?
Yes.
Is it you guys? Are you her cult?
They are part
No,
of
we
it.
are not her cult.
They are senior
Don't
members
listen to
of my
what she
cult.
says.
They love me. They worship me.
I thought we were done with her forever.
They beg me
I
to
met her
come back.
today. I don't really know her.
Oh, she met you today.
I do like a double. Let Anya handle this.
What is this tradition you would have us participate in?
Oh, it's a grand tradition. It's a great celebration of our foodie natures. We. She's like,
Yes.
you're like this close. She's like, whoa. Well, okay.
You said food.
You and I are gonna get along great. I have a feeling. All right. you silly kid. All right, let me tell you about it. We call it the Death Buffet.
Sounds delightful.
So instead of you getting in our arena, getting all killy, instead, we're gonna have a couple of our guys, right? Yeah, they sadly passed last week, but we kept them nice and fresh. We're gonna roast them up, and we're gonna have an eating contest. Right? Yeah, I think, what, did Gary die of ennui, or was it the heart thing? Oh, whatever. They're Gary and Stu, they're gonna be your meals today. And if you can challenge...
Really?
Gary and Stu. What? You guys don't have people named Gary and Stu?
Did you make him into stew?
No, that's ridiculous. We're roasting him. Anyway.
Could I perhaps opt into the fighting and killing?
No, that would just be rude. You're gonna have to eat the guy.
So you're telling me I get to eat him Minotaur and not get in trouble?
You're gonna have to eat the guy, yeah. In fact, you're gonna have to eat the guy so good that you beat our champion. If you can beat all of you as a group, our champion, I will let you have free access to our forge whenever you want.
Well,
How does that sound?
I happen to be very good at everything.
Oh, yeah, the you auntie thing, yeah.
You auntie.
Yeah. Auntie.
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 I will cast heroism on myself. Because I want to be brave.
So what do you guys think?
Yes.
I know you're into it. We know. What about you guys?
Yeah, sure.
Hey.
I skipped breakfast.
Hey, look at that. There she's in the spirit of
just
things.
Okay, I'm good.
Oh, good. You're gonna eat it.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, you're never the same after eating a guy. It's fantastic. We our entire culture focuses around eating guys.
Just looking at the pieces of my sword, I'm like, this is for you. This is all for you.
All right. We have to get some of the, the festivities in order and get ready for this fantastic event. So, let's get you guys in the green room because you're gonna want to, make an entrance. You know what I'm saying? It's a big stadium thing that people love watching. You're gonna love it. All right. Here, go with that guy right there. The guy who's stop asking for an autograph. That one right there. All right. He's gonna take you to the green room. And you're just gonna settle, you're gonna be all right, get yourself pretty, get yourself ready for an audience. Then you're gonna come out and you're gonna eat a guy. All right?
Okay.
Yes.
This will be the easiest mission I've been on in 8 weeks.
Would you also like heroism?
Also,
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I like eating. Yes, I like eating.
Did Tala get Brenda back?
Tala does get right.
Okay, good.
No, it's they have sort of this code of honor. No one's going to take her axe. Okay. You know, she is Tala, the executioner, and no one's going to mess with her legend or her axe. She has proven herself.
And she's eating too?
No, it'd be rude to ask her, an established heroic mythological figure.
Well, Ironhoof.
Ironhoof? No, he's not. He's not here to use your forge, and he's a minotaur, so they're not going to have him do this because you guys are the guests. You know, you're the outside guests for today. So one of the Ravenous clan kind of comes and picks you guys up and leads you to the green room, which they call the green room, and it's a very comfortable room. There's snacks. There's a rock type sofa. You know, rock-ish sofa. You know, it's not very comfortable, but they're, cannibalistic minotaurs. It is what it is. There's a dresser, a surprisingly nice dresser with a mirror. An armoire, if you will. And the Ravenous clan member drops you off here. It's like, okay, so now that you're participating in our death buffet, there's a couple things you need to know. All right, so it is going to be against our champion. His name is Stout Body. He's never lost one of these. That guy is just huge. So you just Stout Body. So you just watch yourselves a little bit. Also, we don't have too many rules in these things. As long as you don't kill Stout Body and he's not allowed to kill you, you guys can do whatever you want.
So it stops at death?
Outright murder.
Murder.
Accidental death.
No, you still be disqualified.
What if he chokes?
Then you win.
Question. If we win, is he shamed?
Yeah, we will make fun of him, yes.
He will be shamed.
You are very tiny compared to this dude, so we're definitely gonna rib on him if he loses. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great time. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
You guys hungry?
Yes.
Yeah, I like her. Huh? All right. We'll come get you when we're ready. So this guy leaves, and you're left alone in this green room for the time being. And very, very quickly, you hear the grindy voice of Raslin, the Ravenous King, start gathering his people up. It's like, people, we're gonna have a death buffet! And you hear this huge roaring, cheering, and chanting. It seems like it's a great source of entertainment for these folks. And very quickly, you start hearing music. You start hearing folks eating and drinking, a great merry atmosphere starting to build outside this green room. Every once in a while, a Minotaur will walk by and offer you guys water and grapes, because that's what happens in a green room everywhere.
Do not drink any of this. Do not eat it. Looking at you, Kovac.
What if I need to get the taste of rotting cow out of my mouth?
Then you wait till you eat the man.
It feels, space in your tummy. You want all of that open for that yummy meat.
Just like...
Yes.
She points to her stomach, even though half of it's gone. Yes.
All right, so as you guys are prepping yourselves and getting yourselves ready for this feast, you start hearing two very distinct voices outside, and as you do, your handler, your Minotaur handler, it's like, okay, so we have two guys who narrate and just kind of host these events. Their names are Honor Speaker and Fist. What? Honor Speaker? I know, it's a very long
I was
name.
an above game, Chorkle? I don't even what you would...
Chuckle and chortle.
All right, so Honor Speaker and Fist. They'll announce you one by one, and when you hear your names, you just come out of the green room, walk down the hall, and you will be in our grand death buffet arena. All right?
Yeah.
You guys got that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't wait.
If I have time, I want to, while we're waiting, to cast the ritual Speak with Animals.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you have all the time in the world, and you don't need to worry about a bracelet on this island.
Yeah.
All right. So, in soon after, in a large amplified voice, you hear this.
Hello, everyone. He's Honor Speaker, and I'm Fist. And today we've got a whole slew of new faces coming in to challenge our champion.
And it's our job to analyze their stamina, dexterity, and skills to find out who will win our death buffet. Hailing from the land of Thizbanar, Kovacs, the half-elf, is a brooding paladin death knight. You know what? We're not actually too clear on that part.
Whichever he is a straight-up badass. Having left a trail of corpses a mile long, he's been called the Betrayer after butchering his own friends to save the life of a demon-worshipping dickweed. Now that's evil.
Kovacs, while an accomplished swordsman, does have a gastronomic weakness.
Yeah, you can say that again. He's part elf. Those tree-frolicking dandies just don't pack away the foodstuffs as well as other races.
Elves generally do not engage in gorging themselves at mealtimes. Instead, they seek out more refined, balanced meals. However, humans have been known to eat far more than common wisdom should allow, so it is possible he's inherited that trait from his human side. That is, if this non-elven side is human.
Oh yeah, that's kind of racist for us to assume. He could be half, I don't know, watermelon?
The green room door enters, and everyone, the crowd just goes like,
Yeah, half elf, whatever else you are, watermelon!
I just shuffle out, just kind of like looking around like...
While they're...
just have guys going like,
Eat that guy, elf! Eat that guy!
I will pray to myself now.
While they're announcing him and doing all that, I want to go over to Anya and pull Snake out, and be like, "Hey, Snake.
yes,
I have a proposition for you."
ooh, yes,
So you know what we're about to do with this eating contest? Yeah. So I have this. I pull out the vial and I hand it to him. Are you able to open this? How dexterous are you with opening vials?
my tail can go any way a direction can go.
Okay, that's perfect. That's all I need. So I'm wondering if you're up for this secret mission of sneaking over to the Minotaur we're eating against, opening a vial, and just pouring some of it into his Minotaur that he's eating.
This vial does, just in case?
It's recruitment juice.
What does that mean?
He'll be on our side.
Do you just think that or know that?
I think it.
Okay, we'll try.
Just a little bit of it, not the whole thing.
Yes.
I have secret mission for you.
Another secret mission?
Of course it is.
Another secret. So listen,
Yes.
here's what you do.
Yes.
I want you to sneak
Sneak.
up to his neck. Sneak, neck.
Who's next?
The competition.
Oh, okay.
And just kind of sneak, neck. And then bite. And then...
Give him a rash?
No. Make it so it swell and he die.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. I am just Snake. I'm not even severely poisonous.
I believe in you.
Actually, you know, maybe my friend Dead Snake.
Dead Snake. Yes. Dead Snake? Do you have poison?
I think that means yes.
Dead Snake. I have important mission for you as Queen of the Snakes. Dead Snake. Snake. Neck. Got it? Dead Snake, neck.
Okay, I think he understands.
All right, great.
Okay, I'm going to go do at least some of the things you have said, both of you.
Okay.
Oh, God. Speaking of Anya, all right, Anya.
Yes,
you
me
hear,
next.
You hear them. It's like, and now, next up, Anya, and you come out, and you hear them say, "Oh crap, is there Yuanti? Oh, I think we're being invaded." No. That's literally Anya. That's a Yuanti pureblood. Generally, purebloods are the most human of the Yuanti, at least physically, so making them natural spies and diplomats.
Yeah, she's got kind of a weird accent.
That's just how common sounds to them.
What, wrong?
Yes, actually. The Yuanti are famously arrogant. They believe their language, their culture, and everything about them makes them just that much better than any other race living in the realms.
That is right. I am better than any other race.
Well, that's just fine and dandy, but that's a whole lot of eating for that tiny of a snake woman.
Now, let's not be hasty, Fist. Many Yuanti have shown the ability to literally unhinge their jaws and eat prey that are larger than you would expect. Much like their lesser cousins, Yuanti can, in fact, fit more food than necessary inside their body. In case of a quick getaway, they can regurgitate it all back up without losing a step.
Gross. Anya's gross. You're gross.
What?
And that's coming from someone who regularly eats his friends. See? I can be cold-blooded, too. Because she's a snake.
Yeah, no, I got that. All right, so Anya, they kind of guide you down the path, and people are like, "Yeah, snake woman, eat that guy, do the jaw thing."
Thank you. I'm currently taking submissions for future husband. If you are king, you have a better chance. If you are rich, you have a
Rockland
better
Maslin's
chance.
like, eh?
Not you.
Ah.
All right, so you join Kovacs. Next up is Trixa. They speak your name loudly, and you're escorted out, through the.
I skip.
You skip. Right. So as you skip down the hall, they make your announcement. Halflings, gentle, kind, good. None of which apply to our next contestant, Trixa. If reports from Allhaven are accurate, this Lightfoot halfling is responsible for the brutal undead uprising within the city walls just a little while ago. This makes her a necromancer extraordinaire. If that wasn't enough, Trixa holds another dark secret.
Yeah, the secret being she's a fucking monster.
Well, no, okay, why not? Not literally, but she does appear to be possessed by a terrible shadowy force that seems to infect her under times of great stress.
This makes her faster, stronger, tougher, and a whole lot more holy crap terrifying.
Now, whether this strange ability will aid her in her death buffet remains to be seen, but even without this dark force, she's going to be a tough contender. Halflings are notorious foodies, holding feasts that last for days in their quaint green villages.
Years and years of eating like there ain't no tomorrow has given the halfling physique a voracious ability to consume and digest food in quick order. Don't let that tiny body fool you. She's got stomachs in places where you probably shouldn't have many stomachs, to be honest. She's going to be a demon on the battlefield. Get it?
Yeah, I get that. All right, so Trixa joins the rest of you. The crowd is like, especially for you, they're just like,
We want to see the demon! We want to see the demon! Eat that guy with the demon! Yeah!
just big giant signs. It's like,
Eat that guy!
I go,
they explode and like,
Yeah, she's doing the thing! She's doing the thing!
you guys, by the way, as you guys are coming out one by one, you see that they're setting up these massive spit roasts in front of you. And these full-grown, shaven bodies of adult minotaurs have been strapped onto these, cooking stakes. Yep. The whole thing.
Are they alive?
No, they're dead. but they are currently being roasted over the fire. And that is quite a sight.
Well, you could say these guys are minute toast.
God damn it, Anya.
Well done.
All right, so you guys are together, and one last contestant. We got Korth.
She just busts onto the field. Yeah.
You spring out into existence. Holy hell! What in the name of all that is holy is that? That's a lizard folk, I think. Well, she needs to see a doctor because she's missing most of her organs. Well, there's obviously some very powerful necromancy going on here, and I wish our reports had more to tell you other than this being, whatever she is named Korth. From what we got in file says she was with Trixa during the Allhaven thing, and I mean, being a zombie, I guess that makes sense. Though, I will have to say, she eats a lot for someone with no real working digestive tract. According to reports, Korth stopped to feast at every opportunity, even to the point of bloating. Though a fairly disgusting trait in everyday life, it will serve her here at the Death Buffet. Wait! Is it being a zombie who can't get full kind of cheating? Well, in any other eating competition, maybe. But here in the Labyrinth City of Iron Rock, we do things a little more on the morally gray side. Evil. He means we're evil. We are evil, yes. So cheating is kind of allowed as long as no one's killing each other in the middle of the contest. Aside from that, almost anything goes. For Korth, it won't be how much she's able to eat. It'll be how much she can hold within her decaying body. Yeah, if it gets to the point where steaks are falling out of her ribs, she's out of here. All right. So, you join your friends, and everyone's like, zombie, zombie, eat that guy! Zombie, zombie, eat that guy!
Zombie, zombie, eat that guy.
All right, the contestants are set. Let's settle this debate once and for all. And as they bring out this massive gong, and they take the stick and they ring it, and this great billowing sound comes from the brass, and from the opposite side of your Death Buffet arena. Emerges from behind these steel grates. This huge, easily 9-foot tall, bloated, just writhing mass of flesh of a minotaur. Its gut extended well past his knees. His girth just takes up what could be 3 whole minotaur sizes worth of girth. And he thunders, one half thunder. One of his horns is missing. He probably ate it. Who knows? And he just, sloughs over to his guy. Stu. He's got Stu. You guys have got Gary. So he settles in next to Stu, stout body, and the audience gives a huge cheer. You're hearing folks like, yeah, champion, he's never lost a Death Buffet. Eat that guy, stout body, eat that guy. All right, and you guys look up at him. He glares down at you. He's like, I'm gonna eat this guy faster than you're gonna eat this guy.
No, you're not.
No.
Looks at you. How dare you? All right. And now that you all have been gathered, here's how this buffet is going to work. Right? We are going to roll for initiative, just like combat. Right? And whoever's turn comes up, you will have 2 rolls to take care of. One roll is a dexterity save to see how fast you are eating. All right?
Oh.
The second is a constitution save to see how well you're eating. All right. And as we go through this contest, these checks will get harder and harder. And the only rule is if you guys fail your con save, right? You start to get full. And the more you fail this con save, the more full you are until finally you just. Right? And if you start failing dexterity saves, you'll notice that he's eating the guy faster than you. right? So you're kind of fighting a war on two fronts. If at any point any of your characters fail thrice on either the dex or the con, you're out. Right? Other than the no murder rule, you can do anything. Okay?
Anything?
As long as no one dies.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Shall we very quickly roll for initiative to see what the order will be?
I have advantage on dex saves against effects that I can see. Does this count?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
So these are saves.
Dirty 20.
Yeah. Dirty 20? Okay.
Dirty 20.
Oh, which one has the higher dex to be to?
I have 12.
16.
What? How could you?
I whisper just next since I say it in a normal voice since I assume no Minotaur can understand, and I say, save the juice for emergencies.
And I say to Dead Snake, Dead Snake, Sneak, Neck.
Dead Snake, Sneak, Neck.
What did you guys get for your...
18.
18.
And 12.
Gotcha.
Whoa.
12.
All right. So you guys can... And the stout body crawls in there in last place. So just so you know, the arena you're in right now, there's 2 fire pits, each one roasting a dude. Gary for you, Stu for stout body. 4 pillars with torches at the end stand erect in the ring. So 2 on that side, 2 on your side. Various bones from previous competitors lay strewn about the ring. Some of their equipment, like some shields, some swords, just kind of trampled underfoot, right? Aside from that, that is what you find in the arena with you. So just letting you know what you see at a first glance around. All right. So the Gary and Stu have been roasting for long enough now. They kind of stand you around. Gary and Stout Body just, hurdles himself over to Stu, and he's like, "Are you ready?" He's ready to eat that guy. They ring the gong one more time, and you hear, "It's time for a death buffet!" And then the contest has started. Kovacs, you are first. You are first to get at this guy.
Great.
All right, so first, roll that dex saving throw and then roll that constitution saving throw.
Okay. Dex is a 16.
All right.
Constitution is a nat 20.
Oh, crap. All right. All right, so Kovacs immediately just dives into Gary, just gets right into him, just starts hauling hunks of Gary out of him and putting it inside of his face.
The most hesitant of us.
It's that heroism.
Right. You take his rib cage and literally shove your face inside his ribs and just start eating at that guy's ribs. Very quickly putting down an entire pound of steak in just a few seconds. You just shove it inside your body. You don't even feel full. You're so amped. The heroism pumping through your veins. You're like, I'm gonna eat this guy. And the Minotaurs, seeing your veracity, they're like, yes, Kovacs! I told you that elf can eat a dude, man. Look at him go. And you certainly are. Just
great.
Gary grease is running down your face. You might have a pimple later. It's fine. It's okay.
It's all worth it.
It's surprisingly delicious. It's a little gamey,
steak.
But yeah, it is what it is. Fantastic. You passed both your checks with flying colors and then some. Anya.
Do I get to cast a spell?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have an action.
I want to cast darkness on the other guy.
All right. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. All right. So,
Oh, he's cast darkness. That was sneaky, eh?
So you see that Stout Body is flailing around his station now, trying to grab pieces of stew. He can't see a thing. All right. So that happened. Anya, what would you like to do? Is there anything you want to do? And before or after you roll your saves?
First. Ooh, wait, I can't kill him. Okay. I want to create a minor illusion.
Okay.
I want whatever he eats, I want to look like he's not making any progress at all.
Oh, okay. Okay. The only problem being right now is his entire station is engulfed in darkness.
That's true. Never mind.
So you could attempt to do that. It's just going to be a sort of a hit and miss kind of chance, half and half, that you get in the right spot. I'll allow it if you want.
Ooh.
Because you sort of remember where the guy is, right?
Yeah.
So you could make a very educated guess, but it won't be 100% chance.
No, I'll pass on that for now.
Okay.
I unhinge my jaw. And the way I want to eat it is I like slice open his belly with my sharp finger, and I just want to try to eat all his guts first.
Okay. Roll your dex save and roll your con save.
13 dex.
13 dex, okay.
And Anya. 7.
Anya uses her nails, slips open the guts a little too quickly to realize, holy crap, a Minotaur has a lot of guts, right? So you just see her unhinge her jaw the best she can. And Fist like, oh, she's doing the thing with her jaw. Here we go. And your jaw hinges impressively for a Yuan-Ti, but unfortunately for you, the stomach of this Minotaur is from like here to here. And as you unzip his belly, a rain of intestines falls over your face, and you're almost crushed under this mound of heaving guts. Some of it gets in your mouth, and you chew, and it is what it is, right? But you are sort of just flailing under this steep mound of entrails at this point. You are making a dent in the intestines, but it's slow going.
Great.
No, she couldn't. She just couldn't open her jaws wide enough for that dude's guts.
All right, so Trixa, it is your turn.
Okay. For eating, my dex save is not great. Okay, that's a 9.
Oh.
And con, they're both 9s. I shouldn't have worn this shirt.
Oh, yeah.
What does that say?
Mighty 9.
Ooh, that's fate. Oh, so Trixa, as you see, you see your comrade sort of go down immediately, having failed one of her rolls. This makes you just a little bit intimidating to start eating this guy, so you take some hesitant bites of this of Gary. In your mind, Azaz is like, what are we doing?
Okay.
And you're trying to sort of like get him into it. You're like, come on, just like fighting. And your demon's like, no, dude, I'm not eating that guy. You can eat that guy. So as you're trying to summon the demon, you know the little black veins pop in and out, but you can't convince your psyche to help you eat this guy. So here you are with your own halfling powers. You're just going like,
Yeah. And then as my action,
Yes.
I want to use my Dwight powers to raise undead on Stu.
Whoa.
on stew. All right.
My goodness.
All right. So as you're gingerly eating Gary, some of the Minotaurs are like, she's not gonna win. She's taking these tiny halfling bites until Trixa sort of motions outwards toward Stu and Stout Body, and there's a hush over in the audience, like, oh wait, that's right, she's a necromancer. She's gonna do the necromancy thing. And just under your command, the cooked, partially eaten the corpse of Stu begins to just resurrect to life on the spit.
Although he is in darkness, right?
He is.
Okay.
So you just sort of hear what's happening, like, and Stout Body. There's sounds of a struggle. A Stout Body is trying to take bites out of this suddenly resurrected, cooked zombie guy. It's great fun for the audience to watch as you see like arms and legs kind of flail in the darkness. A piece of haunch flies up and back down. It's fantastic entertainment for everyone. So you unfortunately did fail a couple of your rolls, but you have a laywayed Stout Body from consuming that guy. All right, so that'll be your turn for this round. Korth, it is your turn.
Okay. So roll dexterity and constitution?
Yes, unless there's something you want to do before.
Before I do that, I take my cloth belt that holds my femur that I use for a shillelagh.
Yes.
I take it off and put the bone on the ground and then wrap my stomach so it closes off
Nice.
the open part of my stomach and tie it off. And then
Oh, she's using tacticals.
and then I will roll to eat.
All right.
Constitution is a 10.
All right.
Come on, dexterity. All right, dexterity is 21.
Nice. Nice. Korth, not caring too much about the chewing process, just sort of goes like, and you can see every once in a while you chew down and the Gary grease gets all over your face, but more importantly you're able to do this at such speed because of your undead nature that your body just begins to swell with heaps of Gary. Oh, Gary is everywhere, and he's delicious and he's all up being digested, except not really. And though due to your speed, you can notice that you're filling up your organ pouches pretty quickly, filled with meat. So you're gonna have to you're gonna have to be careful from this point out. Is there anything else you want to get done in this turn before?
Oh, not yet.
No? Okay, yeah. So you make a very good showing of stuffing Gary down into your stomach. Now, Stout Body's turn. Stout Body, he's going to make his rolls first before anything happens. Alright, okay, and the other is... Ooh, okay. He rolls a natural 20 for his Constitution saving throw. Apologies about that. So, even as he's dancing and wrestling with this newly arisen undead abomination cooked minotaur, he's able to poke his head out of the darkness to see, and you see him take Stu's form, raise him up, and Stu's cooked dead body is like, and Stout Body, not deterred at all, just opens his mouth wide and chomps down on Stu's face, just ripping half that thing off the skull, the brain sliding into his mouth, deactivating the zombie.
No!
So unfortunately for you, he eats the brain of the zombie, and the zombie goes limp, and he goes back to just being barbecue. And the crowd loves it. They're like, oh my God, Stout Body, you just bit the face off that dude. I told you he's gonna eat that guy. And he is consuming this minotaur fairly quickly.
How can we tell if darkness is cast?
It's dark over there.
Okay. All right.
It's hard to see.
Okay.
Due to the darkness. There's just a big swath of just inky magical blackness covering Stout Body station and around him, and that will continue until, I think it's a concentration thing, right? You can decide to let that drop whenever.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Lasts for 10 minutes otherwise.
All right. Let's see. And Snick will actually have a turn.
Ooh.
Let's see if...
Go do your thing, Snick.
Let's see if Snick can do Snick's thing. Might take him a little bit. So, top of the round. Kovacs, it is back to you.
Let's do it. It's Dex.
Dex saving throw and then Constitution saving
16.
throw. Nice.
And a whole lot. Let's it was 25.
All right. So Kovacs not stopping or slowing down in the least. He's up to his second, third pound of food. He's just shoving it in his mouth like a monster. Every once in a while, you catch Stout Body's eyes, and you're just like, not today. Unstoppable. He even has like a tiny bit of like, man, this elf, like he's just yeah. He's just looking me in the eyes and not stopping eating. That's weird.
Can I intimidate him? Roll an action.
Roll intimidate.
Stare him.
That's right.
13.
13. It's intimidating enough that you've eaten so much, though, when you open your mouth to try to intimidate it, you do one of these. And like kind of like meat juice kind of slides out your mouth, eliminating a bit of the intimidation. But they, at least the audience can see what you're going for, and they appreciate it. They're like, "Yeah, good try, Kovacs. Good try. Just keep chewing." All right, so you pass both your saves with flying colors. Anya, you are still under this mound of intestine.
All right, I'm just gonna attempt to eat my way out of it. 13 for the first one.
Okay, that's the dex.
Oh.
4.
Okay. All right, cool. So Anya at least is able to very quickly work her way out of the intestine pile and using her strange but amazing Yuan-Ti gifts, she opens her mouth wide and just starts consuming the intestines as best she can, just getting it in there. Unfortunately, these guts are just really big, and your stomach is maybe not up to the task right now. So, as you're just chewing this cooked guy down, you're like, oh, I am hitting that wall very quick. You have never felt so full. It's a bad time to be on you right now, and you're getting a little bloaty. You're getting your Yuan-Ti skin is now less than perfect due to the guy, Gary's grease everywhere. Is there any actions you'd like to take?
I want to cast. Let's see. Did it a sound or image? It's not a smell. Ooh, can I cast suggestion?
On Stout Body?
Yes.
All right, read me suggestion really quick. It's
You suggest a course of activity and magically influence a creature you can see within range that can hear and understand you. Let's see.
And the saving throw for that for him would be
Wisdom 14.
Wisdom 14. All right, is that what you want to do?
I want him. Yes, I want to charm him into suggest him into running away and leaving. Is that too much?
No, you could have tried that. You
Okay.
could try that. Let's see if he makes it. What was it? 14?
14.
14? All right. So here's what happens. Anya, struggling through the intestines, comes up with a different plan. She's like, get out. So you see Stout Body kind of stop eating the guy and starts thinking to himself real hard, like, oh, that's a weird thought I just had. And he takes like a couple steps out of the darkness holding Stu, like, where do I go? You stopped him for a little bit as he considered his life's actions and he considered running, but he couldn't quite understand where or why he was running, so he just sort of plodded a few feet outside the darkness, settled there for a second, and then continued eating the guy.
Meh.
So you slowed him down. All right, Trixa, it is your turn.
15 Dex.
Definitely luck. And 23 Con.
Ooh, nice. All right. So, finally, getting into the eating process. Seeing the situation, you finally feel the weird like hum of Azaz in your head, and he's finally sort of relented into giving you a little help, right? And so, much to the delight of the audience, they see that the inky blackness surround your skin and flow down your arms and start covering your hands in these talons, and your maw opens into these sharp black needle teeth, and you start carving away at Gary with your hand, shredding him. These strips of meat flying into your suddenly huge gnashing teeth. And the audience explodes with joy, like, oh, she's doing it! She's doing that demon thing! You guys, this is the best! And you just hear these chants, Trexa! Eat that guy! Eat that guy! And you can tell that Azaz is very embarrassed.
Oh no!
He's very, very embarrassed to be doing this thing. But he cares just enough to help you. You can see this mental image of a cat in your head just going like, judging you harshly.
I want to summon as much of a roar as I can from Azaz at Stout Body.
Roll intimidation with advantage.
16.
Nice. So you pause from devouring your meal. You look up at him with these empty gray eyes and your horrible needle mouth, and your jaw almost like Anya's unhinges just a little bit, and this unearthly paranormal cry erupts from the depths of your chest, and it takes everyone aback. Even the announcer's like, "Whoa, she's gonna murder everyone! She's just coughing or something. I don't know." And Stout Body, is shookened from the experience. He fumbles and almost drops Stu. He has to sort of like dust the sand off the guy before getting back to it. So shocked was he from your roar. So yeah, you have slowed him down. Congratulations, and you have made your saves. Korth, it is your turn.
All right, I'm gonna do something after I eat.
Okay.
So let's eat first. Okay. That was an 11 for Constitution.
Constitution.
And then 16 for Dexterity.
Okay.
I would, if I could, I would like specifically to break off his head, eat his head, pointing at the head, looking directly at the centaur.
Okay, so
and
you're
smiling.
You wrench the head off the spit, and you just start gnawing on this dude's face, on Gary's face, and you're just like, "What up, man? What up? I'm eating your friend." Right? And Stout Body the effect it has on Stout Body is not as pronounced because he is also, in fact, eating his friend's face. So you guys are just having this sort of like,
right.
Well, I'm eating him harder than you, But for what it's worth. You are able to keep up pace. You are able to push more food into your rapidly kind of inflating belly.
Yep.
Especially from the last round, you can feel, even though you've tied yourself off, the sheer amount of beefsteak now resting in your belly is threatening to just overflow onto the ground. You're going to have to find some more places to put Gary. But for now, you keep excellent pace. You succeed in your rolls, and you do not fall behind.
All right. Now for my action.
Yes.
I want to cast on him Hold Person.
Okay. Let's see. Hold Person. What's your saving throw for that?
Oh Lord.
Should say on the second page, I believe.
Oh, 16.
Gotcha.
Dang.
All right. So after making eye contact with Stout Body, you attempt to magically stop him right in his tracks. That is 13, so he does not succeed. He mid-bite, he's just like... He's like, oh, you stop eating that guy! Why do you stop eating that guy? Oh, they did some zombie magic! They stopped him from eating that guy! So, Korth, he does get one more roll, I believe, at the start of his turn. Mm-hmm. But for now, yes, you have impeded him mightily. And is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that is.
All right, he's gonna... he does break out of it, so he manages to... He manages to force... He's so gluttonous that he manages to just force his face down the windpipe of the guy, and just starts eating him eating him from the inside.
Is it at the start?
Huh?
Is that the start of turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, whole person? Or was that at the end of the turn? I forget off the...
Most spells like that are at the end. Just so it does anything.
Right. Let's say he's gonna... I'll save the roll and he will break it at the end of the turn. And I'm gonna have him make his rolls anyway to see what happens afterwards. But for the entirety of his turn, he will imagine him struggling to get to it. By the end of the turn, he will have gotten back to it. But for most of this turn, he struggles to do so. Ooh, especially this turn. He has officially fallen behind in the eating process.
Yes.
Enough of your magical shenanigans have tripped him up into, he's only really taken out one leg in the head, while Kovacs over here is starting on most of the guts. All right, now, Sneck gets one more roll.
Come on, Sneck.
All right, so, you guys, unbeknownst to y'all, because you're all super busy with your, life or death eating death buffet, Sneck has sort of snuck.
Snuck.
Sneck snuck up a stout body's leg, and you could, if you were paying attention, you could see that it has a little vial wrapped around its coils. Right? And it's up his body, and he nothing immediate happens because the snake kind of disappears up onto his shoulder and out of sight for now. Right? So that's where we'll leave Sneck. All right. So top of the round, Kovacs. You haven't failed a single thing so far. Your guy's actually getting real eaten,
Sick.
Yeah, you're making huge advances on your guy. So Kovacs, is there any action you'd like to take before you make your rolls after?
Could I command him?
Does your command work on living folks?
Yeah.
Okay.
A creature I can see.
Okay. And that's like a 1 to 2 word command, or is
Just like one word.
Yeah.
And it's Wisdom 14 save.
Gotcha. What do you want to try to command?
I want to tell him to starve.
Oh.
15. He does make it.
Good job.
And so he looks over and is like, I am starving! Hey, he said the words! And he continues eating. But for you, sir, will you make your dexterity and constitution saving throws?
12.
Ooh.
And probably good enough. 19.
19 was constitution? Mm-hmm. Okay. You do notice, because of your efforts and try to slow him down with your command, you have fallen behind just a little bit, and you never really realized there's like arthritis at work when you're trying to eat, but man, pulling these hunks of Gary out and stuffing them in your face, it's hard work on your hands, and you start feeling like man, I need to like stop and kind of like do one of these and like stretch and like really get in there with the tendons because it's not going to last you otherwise. But you at least don't feel that you have to stop eating anytime soon. Your body is cooperating with you and it's packing away Gary as it should. So you're doing just fine. Anya.
Yes.
It is your turn.
I want to cast the minor illusion.
Okay.
I want the corpse to look like all maggoty.
Which corpse?
The other guys.
Okay. Okay.
So maggoty and just green and gangrene and moldy
gross.
and just disgusting.
All right. You absolutely can do that. You're just like, I have to eat intestines.
Yeah.
So you with a snap of your fingers, the minor illusion flies off without a hitch, and Stu takes on this terrible, pallid, kind of rotty, maggoty pallor to him, right? And the audience reacts right away. It's like, oh, gross! We don't want to watch him eat that guy. Stout body. Let's see if he can overcome his gross. He powers through it.
No.
Powers. You make him gag a little bit. Stu went bad so fast. But continues to shove and now you have to watch this too. This weird maggoty mess being chewed up in his teeth, and it's just
I like grab my guy's internal intestine and just like put it over my face.
All right, now you roll your Dex and Constitution saving throws, please.
Why? 4.
Oh my god. No.
15.
15. All right. So 4 was the Dex, right? And 15. All right, you failed 2 Dex saving throws so far. You've got 1 more left.
No.
So your arms are getting tired. It's like about a minute into this, if even, and your hands are hurting. You've been covered in intestines. This is just not the way you thought your day was going to go. But you do manage to force down some more of the guts through your wide eat hole. But you are visibly slowing down.
Anya's crying.
Oh no!
I miss being on the road.
Just like the good old days.
Just like the good old days.
All right, so you. So after turning a Stu maggoty and attempting to eat some more, whatever you're eating, Trixa, it is your turn.
Okay. Oh my god. Oh, 7 for Dex. And 18 for Con. Why do I roll so much worse on the one with advantage?
The universe. All right. Any actions you would like to take?
I just want to muster as much Azaz as I can to scream out and send out tentacles or something if I can to distract him and and the crowd to assist Nick.
Gotcha. So we'll call it a deception roll.
Okay.
But first, very quickly, your hands continue to hurt as you're slowing down just like the rest of your party. But with Azaz's help, you are able to fit an unnatural amount of beefsteak inside you. Azaz is not having the best time, but he's suffering through it. He's silently making you promise you'll never make him do this again. Otherwise, please roll deception. See if you can get folks' attention off the snake.
15?
15? Yeah. So your Azaz just spews out tendrils of himself across the crowd, not really looking to hit anything, but looking to distract. Sharp talon here swings across the crowd. You hear, ooh, another one swings across here. They're having a great time. One reaches over and slaps Stout Body across the face. When that gives a huge cheer from the crowd. You have successfully steered anyone's eyes away from what Snick is up to.
And I want to yell, tell him to vomit!
Tell him to vomit. Are you railing that to the crowd?
No, well, just to anyone who can hear me.
Tell him to vomit. Okay. You just hear a couple guys going, well, she said it. Vomit, dude. I don't want to do it. She said it. Just some random guy in the audience just upchucks. Because you said so. You have a fan. I did the thing she asked.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Korth, it's your turn.
Okay, well, where is he? He's still behind, right?
Stout Body?
Yeah.
He's a few yards away from you guys.
Oh, no, eating wise.
He is still behind you, yes. You guys are in the lead.
All right. Eldritch Blast.
Just straight on that. Stout
Just
Body?
right at him, but because I have Repelling Blast, I can, Agonizing. Whichever one of these, there it is, Eldritch Spear.
All right. Well, you don't need the Eldritch Spear part, it's the repelling.
Oh, it is the repelling.
Yeah.
Haha,
So go ahead and roll to hit. Roll
All
to
right.
hit with your Eldritch Blast.
That's with 16.
16 to hit? Alright. So, Korth peeks her lizard snout up from eating the dude and looks over at Stout Body, opens her mouth, and even though it is welling up to the throat with beef, this terrible green power erupts Godzilla style from your lips and collides into Stout Body. The audience is taken aback. Oh, she is straight up attacking dudes now. And he's launched from his meal, not as far as you think, because he is a heavy boy.
Heavy boy.
He is a heavy boy. Absolute unit is fucking Stout Body. And he's lifted just a couple of feet off his legs and lands massively back down, his gut trembling about him, like a flotation device. And it keeps going. It's hypnotic. It's like Homer when you slap his belly. It just keeps going. Look at that blubberfly.
I was picturing.
And
Dang it.
so you stun him, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Stout Body looks you right in the eyes and be like, ah! And continue shoving more of the rib cage of stew into his gullet.
All right, Ethan.
Yeah, eat that guy.
Question.
Yeah.
So I just remembered, I have Aura of Protection, which gives everybody within 10 feet of me +3 to all saving throws. Does that count here?
Huh. I'm going to say yes.
Cool.
I'm going to say yes, just because it's fun. We're going to start adding +3s to everyone's now, because we never remember.
Sorry, guys. I should have been on it.
No, that's all right. So my rolls.
Yeah.
Good.
So my Constitution is a 6, and my Dexterity is a natural 1, but it goes to a 3 if we put the numbers on it. But see, as you don't do that when you roll
it doesn't.
a nat 1. Dang it! Look. This is the first time. Failed my rolls, so,
I need you to make a deception check really quickly, because the strings around your ribcage have unfurrowed. And you notice before anyone, you notice, but it is happening. The beef is sliding out of your organs.
Where's the beef?
And just like they said, if they see you just start spurting beef, you're out.
oh, come on. Yes. 17 plus 5.
All right, cool. So you're able to grab the bandage right in time while, the puffs of chewed up steak is just like pressing against your hands and the binding, and you're just like, no.
I use the I have 2 flaps, one in the back and one in the front that are cloth, and I just use that now, both of them to wrap around my stomach to make it even tighter.
Every time you tie one down, another piece of beef pops out of another hole in your body, and you have to tie that down, and then another piece of beef just pops out of your elbow, and you have to tie that down. But yes, that is what happens. You did not get a lot of eating done this turn because you have to start wrapping yourself.
Right.
All right. It's Stout Body's turn. So Stout Body, he is going to roll his rolls. And then. And a natural one for Stout Body.
Oh yeah, taste my pain.
And here's what happens to Stout Body. Unfortunately for Stout Body, he was so involved and so mired in his concentration to eat that guy. He did not notice Sneck hinting a small drop of the green ooze, whatever it is, on stew. And unfortunately for Stout Body, one giant bite of the guy with some of the recruitment sauce enters his gullet. And he is going to have to make another Constitution saving throw. Of which he rolls a 5. So, here's what happens. The crowd is roaring and chanting, and they're so excited because it looks like this is going to come to an epic finish. When suddenly, Stout Body, the greatest of their champions, stops eating the guy, which is already terrible. His eyes bulge. His body convulses. You see a small little dribble of green run down the side of his mouth, and the audience is hushed like, what's happened to Stout Body? Is he gonna puke? Are we gonna watch Stout Body puke? Stout Body heaves once. Heaves twice. Before all the color drains from his eyes, and a torrent of what looks to be blackish, greenish ichor erupts from his throat and just covers the first 4 rows
Splash zone
of the audience. And there's this terrible silence, a terrible, grotesque silence. And you just hear Rockskin, the ravenous king, from his throne go, "Holy crap! Did Stout Body just upchuck?" "Sire, I believe Stout Body has upchucked." "Does that mean?" "Sire, I believe it's true." "We have new champion!" Erupts in celebration. Even the guys who are up would just puke. They're just like, giving you standing ovations. This muck, this green and black muck, just flinging everywhere from their faces. Unfortunately for Stout Body, he does not quite look as good as everyone else. Stout Body takes one step forward, his colorless, the color fading completely from his eyes, turning into a pallid gray. he drops the guy. He drops Stu. His arms start to fall limp, and his entire body just sort of keels over in front of them onto his stomach.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Trixa cried. And again, this terrible silence, like, oh, is Stout Body dead? Did you kill Stout Body?
He ate a zombie! He shouldn't have done it!
Is that what happens when you eat a zombie? I've never eaten a zombie before, so I couldn't base that off of any science.
I thought he would stop eating!
Roll deception.
11.
They're gonna roll insight against you. 10.
wow.
So they're all looking up to the king's like, sire, is that what happens when you eat a zombie? And you know, Rockskin, not wanting to appear stupid in front of his people, it's like,
that's what happens. You don't want to. That's why you don't want to eat the undead, because that happens. That happened to Stout Body because he was dumb. Everyone, let's just ignore Stout Body. He was a dumb champion. Yeah, he wasn't that bright. He ate a zombie. That's stupid. Everyone knows that.
Stout Body, more like dumb body!
Everyone cheers. Amidst the cheering, Stout Body twitches.
Oh no.
I want to go up and lay on hands him.
Okay.
You on Stout Body?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You lay on hands the bulbous, massive minotaur. His pallid flesh trembles to life beneath your touch as you force this connective. It's not even healing magic anymore. It's this connective power. It just sort of takes his life force and binds it back together the best you can. And his hulking form sits up, Undertaker style, classic WWF. And the audience suddenly goes, "Oh, Stout Body is back. Is that what happens when you eat a zombie too?" and Rockskin's like,
It makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's.
I've never eaten a zombie.
And as they're trying to figure that out, the folks in the front row who were puked on suddenly start coming down with licking fits. One of them pukes, the other doubles over, another grabs his head as the color starts to drain from his eyes. Snack sort of pops up. It's like, was that what we wanted to do? I didn't know what I was doing. You just
You did it perfect.
Okay.
Everything.
Did I mess everything up?
Oh, you did it perfectly.
Oh, it's good to be back.
And as Snack is trying to understand what is happening, you see the first Minotaur in the audience blindly turn to his friend who is trying to make sure he's okay and bites him right in the face.
Okay, if I have control over these zombies, which I think I do because of the recruitment thing, I just want to say, like, everybody, it's okay, act natural, and, like, hope that the zombies...
As you reach out with your will for these zombies, there's a stark difference in the zombies you had before and these. As you're looking for any sort of magical will to apply over them, you find none. Absolutely none. This is a biological agent that Dwight has given you.
Okay.
This is literally the zombie virus he has concocted. One Minotaur bites the face of another bites another friend, another attacks another. Soon, the audience explodes in chaos as as Stout Body rears himself up, his monstrous form, and gallops into the stands, taking giant bites out of living minotaurs left and right. Somewhere in the back, Ironhoof is like, they deserve it.
So he's super infected.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Everyone is super infected. The Minotaurs start running out of the audience. The king is like, wait, what's happening? What's going on? Before his bodyguards take him and just, get him out of there, because very quickly this epidemic seems to be spreading. The first 6 Minotaurs, then 12, then 20, then 40. They just sort of cascade out in a semicircle from where you stood and parade into the city proper, lumbering, hulking death machines seeking flesh, leaving you full but alone at the death buffet.
I looked at Trixa. Awesome.
Good job. Wow, didn't know you became so murderous in my absence. Very proud of you.
So where's that for?
Yeah.
Just not going to deal with this at all. All right, well, that happened. Bye.
It's on an island.
Yeah.
We get to the porch. We leave.
We're going to leave off with Kovacs asking, so, where's that forge? As we pan out from this, your second zombie apocalypse, if I'm keeping count.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Got a knack.
You're really racking it up there with the zombie apocalypses. But yes, you've introduced Agent Dwight into the Minotaur system.
Holy crap.
We'll pick up from there story-wise next time. But for now, if you guys are keen on staying for a little bit, we've got a dungeon run to do. Yes, and for those who haven't experienced this before, we can do these whenever. The characters themselves don't have to be back at base proper. This is like during a cooldown period, or during when they're just hanging out at home and people come in and try to raid their dungeon. That's how this works. So, just like last time, we're going to have a previously randomly selected adventurer party go through our specially designed dungeon. And at any point, our players can choose to become the boss of that level. And if so, they can roll the dungeon setup roll and the boss roll. And your dungeon is currently at a +2. So remember, if you want to be the boss, you roll your d20 plus your wisdom modifier, plus your intelligence modifier, plus the dungeon score, which is a +2. And I will roll the party dice. And this party, unlike last time, it's a little bit more put together. They're a little bit more professional. They are, in fact, a +3 party.
Ooh.
I know. It's going to be something. Really quickly, I'd like to thank the folks who I have stolen these characters off of that you've so generously given us. At Villis Farthuk, thank you for Rock Talk Tell, the human barbarian. At Libra Lejon, thank you for Axis, I believe the tiefling wizard. Thank you at Ocean's Vamp Ghost for Zell. Zell, who I believe is a, just really quickly, didn't want to get it wrong, a female changeling sorcerer. Awesome. Yeah. And at Amaresu, thank you for Tabitha Carter, who I believe is a half-elf sorceress. There's a lot of magic today. Everyone seems to have Fireball, so that's very exciting. Thank you at Mr. Della Rocco for Zyzix Fizzle Sprocket, which is the greatest name ever. Zyzix Fizzle Sprocket, who I believe is a rock gnome sorcerer. And then last but not least, at Magpie Cooper. Thank you for Fidget Nightshade, who, like Warblund, is a deep gnome. Who I believe rogue? Yes, deep gnome rogue. All right. So, we have several layers to our dungeon. The first layer, as always, is the garden level. Now, you guys are just at home one day, you know, you're hanging out with Dwight. He brings you over to the scrying mirror. Anya, even you know, you're back at this point. You're working with your, you know, your people have made a deal, so you're allowed to hang out in the Bone Cathedral. And you haven't actually seen this scrying mirror before. This is new for you. Dwight has this massive silver mirror that he can use to scry and kind of peer on wherever he wants on the Blacksteel Isle proper. Not off it, but on it. So when adventurers come knocking at your door, you have this big screen, kind of like, you know, you sit on the sofa, you have yourself an old famished. You know, you get to see like what happens, and you have the employee shortcuts to get to any level of the dungeons you wish. So you can always end up there before the adventurers get there.
Cool.
So, level 1 of the dungeon garden. As you are gathering around the scrying glass, you see this new group of 6 adventurers, 2 gnomes. One appears to be somewhat like Warblund, who's just not present today. Another, a more normal-looking rock gnome that you see throughout cities, throughout the realm. You see a tiefling who is obviously very well read. He has a book with him. He's some sort of caster. You see that there's many adventurers in this party with big flowing robes. You're expecting a lot of magic being thrown your way today. Let's see. There's a half elf. There's a 2 gnomes, a half elf, a tiefling, and one woman you can't exactly place. She looks like she could fit in any sort of race. Her appearance every once in a while shifts slightly. If any of you haven't had any experience with changelings, you'd be like, oh no, that's one of those. So here's what's going to happen. The garden level is composed of very lovely scenic green. There's sunlight coming in. It's nice, you know? Tala designed it. She designed the sunbathe in. However, it is covered in zombies. So there's that. Right? Is anyone interested in being the boss of...
I'll do it.
Yeah.
How do I do it?
All right, so here's what you do. You're going to make 2 rolls.
Cool.
As the boss of this level. So your first roll is going to be the encounter roll, the zombies roll, right?
Okay.
And then the second one will be the boss roll. And I'm going to roll against both of you, both of those rolls, and see what happens, all right?
Okay.
So roll your first roll.
14. Do I add anything to it? Modifiers?
Yes, your intelligence modifier, your wisdom modifier, which I believe is -1. And the dungeon level itself, which is a +2.
Okay. 18.
Okay. That's the encounter. And now, go ahead and roll your boss roll. Same modifiers.
Oh. 11.
11, okay. That's a very interesting start for this party.
Anya's like, welcome. Prepare to die.
Anya, you have a little time before they arrive. An elevator takes them up into the dungeon proper, right?
Yes.
So you walk out into the garden level. You see all these undead minions. They're leaving you alone. They'll probably take simple orders from you. And you're in the back of the level where you are guarding an elevator to the 2nd floor. A big screaming skull thing, right? Mm-hmm. What would you like to do?
Well, I say bad. And, I set, the path in front of them on fire.
Okay.
That all?
And I say, offer up your most eligible men.
To yourself or
To me!
All right. So you because the party's not there yet. This is your time.
It's yelling into the darkness.
All right. You yell into the darkness. Bring the eligible men to me. And you set fire to most of the greenery on the floor.
I guess.
Okay.
I want to make it hard for them to pass.
All right. So here's what the party sees when they come up the elevator. As the doors slide open, unlike the last party, they are not greeted with a sight of beautiful flora and fauna. They are greeted with an inferno of fire.
Anya's laughing.
Literally just meeting them right in the face. The zombies are on fire. Everything is on fire. Unfortunately for you,
What?
this party has its stuff together.
Oh.
Right? A extremely talented half-elf sorceress, not even blinking, right? She steps out and she snaps her fingers like this, and a huge manifestation of magical watery waves washes over the entire level, putting out every piece of fire on the floor. At the same time, washing the undead off the side of the level, depriving you of every minion there is.
Anya goes, oh.
Anyway, they rolled a natural 20 on their encounter for the minions. Though, unfortunately for them, they rolled a 1 for the boss encounter.
Oh my god.
So the same powerful elven spellcaster, Tabitha Carter, steps forward. You see, just as you're feeling out, you've seen that this party is organized in such a way that Tabitha, Axis, Zell, and I believe Zysis, they're these support casters who have access to these powerful magics. And in front of them, Rock Talk Till, a large human barbarian with a heavy axe, stands at the forefront. And Fidget Nightshade, who is the Werblend of the group, the same kind of countenance, same kind of like, grumpy Liam Neeson sort of thing. And she nods once, she nodded once to Tabitha Carter, and she did that watery wave, and she nods at him one more time. She nods at her one more time because she feels like Tabitha has got this, right? Tabitha steps forward. She sets her sights on Anya. It seems like it's going to be a big showdown of spellcasters. And as you both charge your spells, I get to roll on the wild magic chart really quickly. That'll do. That is a... It's my favorite, actually. It's my absolute favorite on Wild Magic. All right. You guys face off. 2 spellcasters. She raises a hand to you. You see fiery magic gathering in her palm, and you could hear her whisper something like, "Die, fiend!" And just as the fireball would erupt from her hand and engulf you, it instead blows up right where she stands in a cataclysmic explosion. Her party members are forced to shield her eyes as Tabitha, having rolled improperly on the wild magic table, engulfs her body and everything around her in an explosive display of fireball impropriety.
Anya takes credit. You messed with the wrong Yuan-Ti, little one.
The dust settles, and this party is trained enough to not stand and gawk. So while the dust has settled and you're taking in your victory, you're like, "Ha! I did this." After the dust settles, you see that there's a little pile of ash where Tabitha used to be.
I kick it.
You kick it, but the rest of the party has escaped. And you turn around, you're like, "What the ding?"
It's okay. I revel in the ashes.
You make a Tabitha Ash Angel. All right.
Maybe your name should have been Ashley.
Oh my god.
The one-liner as the party goes down. The next level, of course, is the very, very creepy dark mirror level.
I'll do it.
All right, cool. So Trixa is going to be Trixa scurries off through the employees' entrance really quickly. So the party arrives at the dark and mysterious floor. Ding! It opens, and just like last time, a hall of mirrors in absolute pitch darkness. The only flickers of light are from what sources they have as a party, and every time light is produced, it betrays them because it confounds the eyes. It's just images of them everywhere, and they can't quite find a proper path through the maze. And Rock Talk Till takes point, and the melee folks are up front. They're like taking the mirrors very gently, and they're sliding them off to the side. They know that if they shatter these mirrors, shards of glass will probably come rain down on them. They're at least a good enough party to realize that. However, as they're making their way through this maze, they just hear little bits of children laughing. A little girl laughing here. A little girl laughing there. Exactly. And it begins to unnerve them. Make your rolls, please.
Dirty 20. And halfling luck. And 18.
Nice. Okay, we're gonna have to roll high. Yes. Okay. All right. So, unfortunately for them, they did not roll as high as you. So, the giggles, the quiet giggles, closer and closer. This unnerves them to such a degree that they flail out with an axe. It shatters a mirror accidentally, and some of them are cut by the glass. Rock Talk Tell apologizes and quiets the group down because there's that giggle again, right? And as they're slowly making their way through the mirror maze, Axis, the tiefling wizard, finally grows fed up with this hall of mirror shenanigans, and he takes his hands and he just casts magic missile in every direction. In every direction, even though his party's like, no, don't! The magic missiles shatter the hall of mirrors. Huge shards of glass come and cut the party, injuring them. Blood splattering all over the floor. And during this crazed, chaotic time, none of them notice, but from the darkness, Trixa is able to pick off Axis. These little tendrils of black, spindly blackness wrap around Axis's throat, crushes and drags him into the room itself. Axis could not even scream. And just like that, another one of their party members falls to the dungeon. They're looking around for him. They can't find him. And though, because of his sacrifice, he was able to take down the Hall of Mirrors so they can sort of see where the elevator is towards the end. And the party hurries over. However, there is, of course, one last thing in their way, which is Trixa proper. All right, so you stand there. Izaz manifested in a menacing, glorious version of himself. The black talons inking down your fingertips. This terrible demonic countenance on your face. This unearthly cry, the shrill cry erupting from your throat. And the party can only kind of stagger in shock at what they're seeing before them. Unfortunately for Rock Talk Tell, the human barbarian, he does not have a very well-developed sense of fear. he throws himself at you like a boulder just rolling down the hill, hoping to just take you out in one mighty blow, raging in the process. You and Azaza's smile curl up in your mouth as you literally catch his great axe in your hand, and start to crush the metal between your fingers, dragging him closer to your face. And Rock Toctel, having realized his mistake, knowing there is probably not any winning this fight, he grabs onto you all of a sudden, and shouts over his shoulder for his party members to go and continue, and he'll hold you off here. A lot of folks like holding people off on this floor. So he does manage to contain you just enough for his party members, most of the casters, to get through to the other side of the elevator. However, as soon as they're gone, you break free from his grasp. He takes what's left of his great axe, and he settles to face you one-on-one. Now, you have rolled significantly higher than he has in this encounter. Is there anything specific you want to happen?
I just want to make sure he's real scared, because he was trying to be all brave. And I don't want him to die brave.
Oh! Is there anything you want to say to him?
No.
No? All right. So you, as it's you and him left on this chilling, dark floor, the light sources that he had carried, at least his friends had carried, are now gone and fading very quickly. What remaining, 1 or 2 or 3 lit candles in the room start snuffing out one by one. And the shadows on your face start getting darker and darker and darker until finally he just simply cannot see you in this room. And the giggles continue, and they become louder and louder and louder until Rock Talk Tell can no longer take it and just starts blindly swinging about in the darkness. He shatters his axe upon the ground accidentally. He doesn't realize, because he's filled with so much anxiety and fear, and he's taking his precious weapon and just swinging it blindly every which way, until his axe has just kind of snaps in two as it lands against the side of the elevator itself, and then, only then, he's lost all hope. Do you put a single talon through his heart? Slowly. Slowly. Just... and that is the end of Rock Talk Till.
Bye.
Right, a bunch of people have already died. That is Trixa. Trixa, the evil mirror boss. The next level is the Beasts level. That is where you keep Sir Pickleton and Jiju, the giant spider. So Zell is left, Zyzix is left, Fidget Nightshade is left. Let's see here. Tabitha's dead, Axis is dead. Oh, sheesh, Rock Toctel is dead. Half the party is dead. Woo! All right. Anyone want to be the boss of this level?
Anya!
All right, we'll do Korth because we haven't done Korth yet. All right, so Korth, go ahead and roll your setup and roll your boss rolls.
All right, what were these again?
So you roll your d20, you add your intelligence modifier, your wisdom modifier, and +2 for your dungeon.
Okay.
And you roll that twice.
Nat 20!
All right.
So that'll be 20. It doesn't matter, it's a nat 20. And then, so 17 plus, so 17 plus 5, so
23.
yeah.
22.
Nat 20 and then 23.
It's 22.
Bye-bye!
+3 party. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, you have rolled extremely high.
Yes.
So your first roll was for the encounter, which is the giant spider and Sir Piggleton, and the second roll was for the boss encounter. So here's what happens. Ding. Fidget Nightshade leads what's left of her adventuring party, which contains the the changeling sorceress Zell, the rock gnome sorcerer Zyzix, and is that it? That's it. Okay. Zell and Zyzix at Fidget's side. She creeps warily. She is obviously the most experienced of the group, right? And as she creeps along, this spider web infested floor, she makes every attempt to not touch any of the webs. She, like water, starts to flow through the crevices and cracks of the room, and she's trying to motion for her friends to come and join her, right? Zyzix, being the rock gnome sorcerer, saw how well made the fire perhaps and magic on the previous floor did not work out so well. However, he's got kind of a plan, right? He reaches into his doublet and he pulls forth what appears to be a blue sapphire, right? This is a blue sapphire elemental gem. And what he does is he cracks it onto the floor, and from the gem, a whirling gust starts to emerge, and this air elemental begins to form right in front of him. Zyzix thinks this is a great idea. We're just gonna blow all the fire and all the spider stuff away. It's gonna be great. Fidget, the deep gnome, turns sternly to Zyzix and gives him a look like, "What have you just done?" And from sight, she just sort of vanish stealths, right? She gets out of there as this air elemental begins to swirl up the spider nests and the spider webbing and just kind of shake the entire room with its thundering whirlwind. Zyzix is having a great time. He's like, "Yes, go, my pretty, go! Conquer the dungeon!" Unbeknownst to Zyzix, from behind, Jiju, a giant spider, has been slowly descending and descending and descending. And while the air elemental has been having its fun wrecking the lair, Jiju gently reaches over with her stinger, right, as Zyzix is kind of conducting this orchestra of wind magic, and just right into his skull. Delivering a fatal dose of neuropoison right into his brainstem. The air elemental shatters, along with what's left of Zyzix's central nervous system, and he collapses to the ground. That was not a good roll for him. Fidget is nowhere to be found. Fidget has just hidden herself from sight. And Zell, the nervous single sorcerer left on this floor, is left just sort of padding about, trying to get to the exit. And at the far end, because the air elemental had stripped away most of the webbing, we see Korth and Sir Piggleton just sort of hanging out, waiting by the elevator, right? Sir Piggleton gives you one of these, like, "Should I murder him? Or her? Should I murder her? I can murder her. I'm good at murdering her."
Go do it. But bring her body back to me so I may eat it.
So Sir Piggleton rushes over, and something unexpected happens. Zell, actually, you don't see exactly because Sir Pickleton is so massive, right?
Right.
Sir Pickleton pads over, stops, looks, unsure.
What's wrong?
Reaches down, picks up something by the scruff of its neck, and pads it back over, and deposits it in front of you. Zell has used her shapeshifting to turn into a tabaxi, which is a life-size cat. He's just a purring cat. Just a little cat sitting there going.
Oh no.
And Sir Pickleton's like,
What do we like?
Is this one of the adventurers?
I don't know. Suddenly there's this cat. Should we keep it?
I don't know. Kurt sniffs the cat. Does the cat smell like a normal everyday cat?
it does actually. It's a pretty well done shapeshift.
I kind of like cats, I guess.
No, they're pretty cute.
They are pretty cute.
Oh.
Yeah, we can keep them.
Inside the tabaxi head, she's like, I guess it's slavery for me for
Or picks up the cat and just starts petting it. Oh, aren't you cute?
It's like a cat with like arms and legs.
Yeah, it is a full like anthropomorphic beast. It's just like purr, purr. So you don't kill Zell, you obtain Zell.
I felt like, this would be a bit funnier.
Zell is mortified and terrified, but Zell also does not want to die. So having found a strategy that works, she just sort of sits there, as this tabaxi cat, purring as loud as she can, hoping you'll all just go away.
Oh no chance. We're bringing her with us.
You find like some cobwebs and you make like a tiny leash. You're like, come on, kitty, let's go.
Come on, little buddy. I'm gonna get you some good food, get you some toys.
Zell, the changeling, is just like, okay. He just follows you back off. You've taken Zell prisoner.
A furry slave.
Yeah, you have a furry slave.
She, Korth, for some reason, whether it's brain damage, just thinks this is a cat. Doesn't even, it doesn't even understand that it's a tabaxi. Thinks it's a cat.
You now own a tabaxi, sort of. All right. So, you have no idea what's happened to Fidget Nightshade, however. She has slipped your grasp, and you at some point you heard a ding, and she went back down. The next level is the forest level. Pluck is not here, so he usually is in charge of that place. It's a very serenic, very scenic, almost like the garden level, but even more green. There's a running pond or waterfall in the background that you can hear because Pluck had it covered up with grass because it was blood. Couldn't change that. There's some animals running around this floor, some deer, some rabbits. It's nice. Is there anyone who wants to be the boss of this floor?
I guess I'll do it.
All right. Roll your rolls.
It's wisdom, intelligence, and +2.
Yes.
So that's a 17
Okay.
and a 22.
Wow. All right. Oh. Cool. All right. It's gonna be fun. Okay. So you're like, okay, there's one left. There's one adventurer left. I might as well meander to the forest, see, finish her off, you know, get the day done. You arrive on the level. You can't hear or see anything. And the harder you try, and you start, you know, you hear the water, you try to keep your senses open, this little gnome is around here somewhere. But for the life of you, you cannot detect her. Right? And then suddenly, in a flash of steel, you can get your sword out just in time, but her blade comes this close to your face, and you're able to deflect it with inches. You turn around, she's gone. You turn back around, again, a blade that you parry just within an inch of your life, and then flash, she's gone again.
Oh boy.
You ready your weapons, you stand around, you look around you, and you just can't see her. She's good. She's very good. Is there anything you'd like to try?
Dreadful aspect.
That gives her disadvantage on hitting you?
Makes her scared of me.
Okay. So you activate Dreadful Aspect.
Yeah. Where is it? There it is. Yeah. Wisdom save 14, or else they're frightening me for 1 minute.
Got it. Oh, shit, she rolled a 19.
Cool.
She passes. Unfortunately, the critters around you roll a 1. The deer that was standing near you as you activated Dreadful Aspect turns around and runs face first into a wall.
Cool.
Oh.
The deer is hurt.
Uh-oh.
A smell begins to seep through the level.
Oh.
Okay.
A wand has been triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Every time an innocent animal is harmed on this floor, the excremental is summoned.
Yep.
So you're standing there, and you know these pools of corrupted blood start to converge and glide together into this brown, grotesque behemoth as it swells out of the floor. And as you're watching this happen for the umpteenth time, you hear a leaving you on the floor with the excremental.
Great. Great. Great.
And it slogs towards you, and you're like, damn it, gonna have to fight this thing.
I really shit the bed this time.
So Fidget Nightshade manages to slip by you just barely, as you're left to clean up the excremental behind.
Great.
Oh my goodness.
Fidget's getting there, man. All right. Unfortunately, because you were just a level boss, you can't be the next level boss, which is the platform level.
Oh, I had known that.
That's all right.
Whatever, you know.
It's all right.
I'm busy.
Does anyone want to be the boss of this?
Yes. I go in. I'm like all dusty.
So here's how this level works. It's one long corridor.
Okay.
One just straight shot, right? Imagine a Mario level. There are fireballs shooting up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's pits of lava. There's fire. There's little sticks that go ooh, and you don't want to touch them because they hurt you.
Cool.
Yeah. And that big corridor leads to a hallway. An empty hallway has a door. You go into it. Big long hallway. There's another door. Hey, it opens. That's just how this place is designed.
All right.
And at the end, it's a big Conan-looking throne room, right? Nice fur covering this throne. There's plenty of space for combat to happen, and usually Kovacs sits here. awaiting challengers.
Okay.
What would you like to do? Let's see what the rolls are first, and then you can tell me what you want to do.
Gosh.
Well,
Please tell
Dang
me.
it! Anya! 6.
6. What's the second one?
14.
14.
Why do I roll bad? Is there a technique?
you got this. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Here's what happens. You sort of this is the first time you've seen this place, so you're taking it in. You're like, oh wow, Kovacs has a nice setup. He's got like this death room trap. That's cool. They have to sort of walk through this hallway. I don't know what that's about, but it's there.
Good room for making love.
Yeah, you got a nice shag carpet on the throne. That's kind of baller.
With the fireballs around me and the danger. It's very good.
As you're admiring this setup, the traps themselves make noise, right? And you're not familiar with the kind of noises the traps make. So you're like, oh, whirly, clicks, whatever, thumps. Not realizing that while you're looking at this throne and just sort of hearing ambient noise, that is the sound of Fidget Nightshade expertly making her way through these traps.
Ooh.
One by one, jumps over, swings under,
damn.
Yeah, that she's kicking ass. And before you know it, there's a soft hiss behind you as the door opens. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You turn around. No one's there. You turn around again.
What? What?
Just got past.
And she's not in the elevator, but she turns around and you see this very Werblin looking creature, gray skin, just shoot you one of these. And walks into the elevator.
Oh!
Like, I did not even get to give my monologue!
She's not even going to give you the chance.
Do you want to make love?
No!
What happens now?
There's one more. There's a couple more floors.
Okay.
There's a couple more floors. Don't worry. So Dwight's sitting in his chair, going like, okay. The next level is the Underdark level. Fortunately and unfortunately for you, Fidget Nightshade is a deep gnome, so she is perfectly at home on this level. Who wants to be the dungeon boss of this? I'll even let you do it again, since you just sort of popped in. It's like,
I run into the elevator. Wait! Hold on!
you can take the employees at shortcut.
All right.
Did you want
You're
to be?
fireman pulled.
That's okay with you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's hilarious.
All right. So you're out of breath. You're like, okay, she's not getting by me again. You end up on this platform, and it seems like on this platform is a turret. This turret is more or less 7 rifles kind of glued together. Werblin's idea, right? And there is a kind of clockwork mechanism for you to turn the handle. Right? Mm-hmm. You've never seen one of these devices before, but you know how rifles work, and a lot of these barrels look like rifles, right? In the room itself is empty. Not empty, but you see these, dark hills and stalactites and everything you would expect from the Underdark. It smells a little moldy. There's drips of water. There's crickets. Specifically, Werblin wanted crickets, so there's plenty. And you hear all the way across the level the telltale ding. She's here somewhere. Roll your dice.
Okay, dice. I'm gonna roll better. Oh! So what is that? Plus 4, 20. Dirty 20. Oh, no!
What was it?
About 5.
Was it a 1 plus some change?
It is a 2 plus some change.
Or 2 plus some change? Fantastic.
About 5.
About 5.
5-ish.
All right. If she rolls past this machine gun, she will... Fidget, you will be officially the most advanced anyone has ever gotten in this dungeon. If you fail here, you tie Maeve with the furthest. So let's see what happens. She has to beat a dirty 20.
Ooh.
What?
Gold.
Everyone's so silent and serious. This is
Suspense.
awesome.
What's happening?
You see in the distance, completely comfortable in this environment, Fidget Nightshade, not even hiding from you. Just sort of walking down the aisle with very determined purpose. In her hands are 2 daggers that she's been using. These daggers have, they're very clean, shimmering, enhanced looking. They're probably magic, right?
Yeah?
And she expertly just sort of tosses them up and down, up and down. She's eyeing you. She's walking right at you.
Can on your monologue?
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right.
You thought you defeated me, but guess what? Silly, angry min girl. You're muchly mistaken. In fact, I know your kind, and you will submit to me and become my slave.
Halfway through the word slave, a knife flies right into one of the barrels of the turret.
No!
And you just sort of hear off in front of you, "You talk too much, mate. Why don't you turn that crank on that weapon and see what it's good for?"
Okay.
Good play.
Yes!
Do I do it? Well, that one has dagger in it. I don't know if you meant to put the dagger in there, but it's in there. So.
I did, yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna turn it on, man. It might backfire. I hope you're understanding. It's dangerous. For me.
As those words fall out of your mouth, another dagger, barely missing your left eye, embeds itself right behind you in the wall, taking your attention away for just a second. And when you turn back, I'm gone.
No! No!
You're just left there with this kind of damaged gun, looking around. You know what? Make a perception check. It's your last chance to find her on this floor. I'm gonna roll stealth.
14. No?
Ding!
Was a good
Mike's just on the
try.
couch going like,
New high score.
Just heard throughout the dungeon.
Fidget Nightshade is the first adventurer to beat the minigun floor. Good for you, Fidget. So
How did you beat my dirty 20?
she beat your dirty 20 with a dirty 21.
Close, man.
Yeah.
Close.
Fidget is not
Wow.
effing around. So the next level is the ball pit.
Ooh.
Would you like it?
So you want to be the boss of the ball pit level?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll your 2 rolls.
Okay. 16 and 21.
Get it.
All right, so you arrive in the ball pit level before Fidget Nightshade.
I want to be like under the balls.
You're under the balls?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so you see that the elevator comes to a stop above you, right? Instead of the ting that opens up the front floor, the bottom collapses away, just like planned, right? And you're hiding under the ball pit, waiting for something to drop, but it never does. And you're waiting, and you're waiting. Silence. What do? Do you stay in the ball pit? Do you peek out?
I want to send out some giggles. I want to use like an Azaz tentacle, like a what's the submarine
Periscope.
Periscope.
A little demon eye pops out.
I'm like, Azaz, what do we do?
You do see that the restroom door is open.
Restroom?
Yeah, remember you have a bathroom on this floor.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you guys put in one restroom just for convenience.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, come on.
I didn't remember that either.
Dungeon, it's a big dungeon, you need to pee. Everyone needs to pee, all right?
Do I need to pee?
Maybe not you.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what you see. The door is open.
Okay. Okay, I want to go over to it.
You wade through the ball pit, peek in. Fidget was in the middle of using the bathroom. But the one trap on this floor that got her was Death's and the big heavy warhammer that fell from the ceiling. You walk in,
I remember
and you
now.
just see this poor deep gnome skull crushed in on the toilet.
Oh my god.
Good job, Dead Snack. Good job, Dead Snack.
That's going to die.
Snick.
So yeah, unfortunately for Fidget Nightshade, she let her guard down. It's like, ooh, bathroom, I need to go. And a massive warhammer caved her skull in.
Dead snake, brick snake.
Still ripped off. Nobody got the satisfaction, you know?
Well, Dead Snack did.
Well, but that's not a pleasure.
I am satisfied.
Yeah, new high score, you
You got the furthest, but you got crushed in the bathroom.
Tears.
Yeah, dude. So really quickly, thank you, at Villas Farthuk, thank you, Libra Lejoin, thank you, Ocean's Vamp Ghost, thank you, Amaresu, thank you, Mr. Delarocco, and thank you, at Magpie Cooper, who owns Fidget Nightshade. You are our current champion of the dungeons. Congratulations. Woo!
Anya runs in. Hey, did you see the little one? Somewhere in, I think he made it here. Is he dead?
I found her, yeah.
Where?
She's in the bathroom.
It's the same Warhammer you bought Snick.
Hey, I win by proxy!
Oh my god. I thought she was gonna make it. Like, she was rolling so high the entire time. That was amazing. Good job, Fidget. Loot. You guys still get loot from this. Ooh, you get good loot too. You're cleaning up the bodies. Unfortunately, Fidget's body, the skull's caved in. She can't really be turned into undead at this point. She's more or less paste. But from her body, you do manage to plunder her 2 magic daggers, nicknamed Nook and Cranny. They're 1d4 daggers, and they're +2. They're good. They're very good. And that is what you get from this dungeon to grind.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Korth would eat her, but she was on the bathroom, and there are lines. There are lines.
You haven't checked her pants. You don't know if she was like in the middle of.
Yeah. There are lines to be crossed, and she's like, no.
Yeah, it doesn't do well for the flavor. But guys, thank you so much for staying for a little bit to encounter our dungeon grind. Promise there will be far more in the future. Every couple of shows we'll do one with a brand new party. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Dark and Dicey. Are there any announcements you guys want to make before we head off?
Yeah. If you are in Plymouth, I am Plymouth, Minnesota. I will be there between the 19th and the 21st of this month for Anime Fusion. And so if you're around, come say hi. Come to some of the classes I will have, and we'll all have a good time and laugh a lot.
Yeah. I'll be there too.
Yeah, Kaiji will also be there.
Maybe the con husband.
Yes, he's the con husband. He'll know how I feel now.
Okay, so conventions. I have Anime NebraskaCon, November 2nd through the 4th in Nebraska. New York Anime Fest is coming up. I'm not sure when, but I think it's the second week of November. On Netflix, Forest of Piano just came out. I'm in that.
I'm in that too. I just don't know who it is. Yeah. I'm like a music judge who goes to a strip club. That's all I remember. Yeah. Click to find out more.
There's a Violet Evergarden special that just came out, and I play the girl in that one. What else? I can't remember anything else, but that's just me.
Yeah. Anyone else on this side of the table?
I'm about to be gone for a couple weeks with the Nate Wants to Battle tour. So, I mean, I'm not like performing, but if you go to the shows, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll have your
regulating.
We'll have your sword. We'll have your sword forged and waiting for you when you come.
I want to be there when it's forged.
You want me to wait? We can always wait.
Whatever.
Just so you can have the satisfaction.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait on until after you come back. All right. Anyone else? Good stuff. All right. Well, that was today's episode of Dark and Dicey, you guys. Tune in next week for episode 20. Some folks will be gone, but we'll have guests. That's what they're good for. So thank you so much. Same time next week, same place. We'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.